But also what I believe that the president and the Democratic Party needs to come to terms with is that this is not just a crisis of Roe, this is a crisis of our democracy.
And that is AOC saying that the issues with the Supreme Court is about reproductive rights. That is true, but it's not the only thing that the Supreme Court is ruling on, destroying any concept of precedent, caring not at all about what the people actually think. They're delivering ideological wins for their side. That's what they're doing. And that is a big issue, and we do have to deal with it. She's gonna describe a little bit more about that here.
Court has dramatically overreached its authority. We had 2 conservative senators in the United States Senate, Senator Manchin and Senator Collins, come out with a very explosive allegation that several Supreme Court justices misled them during their confirmation hearings and in the lead up to their confirmation. This is a crisis of legitimacy. We have a Supreme Court justice whose wife participated in January 6th and who used his seat to vote against providing documents that potentially led to evidence of such to investigators in Congress. This is a crisis of legitimacy, and President Biden must address that.
And so what AOC is doing right there is bringing up one of many things that could actually be done. Of course, the Democrats are in charge, so probably nothing will be done. But consequences for those on the Supreme Court that are, as AOC just described there illegitimately, that is one thing that we could do. And she is in fact calling for impeachments of Supreme Court justices there, saying if we allow Supreme Court nominees to lie under oath and secure lifetime appointments to the highest court of the land, and then issue without basis rulings that deeply undermine the human and civil rights of the majority of Americans, we must see that through. I believe lying under oath is an impeachable offense. They're talking about Gorsuch and Kavanaugh. The Senate has a constitutional duty, an obligation to advise and consent on Supreme Court justices. They do those hearings as part of that. We are supposed to be assessing who these people would be if they were given extremely powerful until they're dead spots on the Supreme Court. If they lie during that process, it seems like there should be some consequences for that. Now, of course, the Republicans don't want there to be consequences in this particular case. But can you imagine what they would do if Sotomayor or Ketanji Brown Jackson or someone just clearly lied about what they would do, and the second they got on the court, they did the opposite? Now, it is pointless pointing out hypocrisy on the right because the very concept of hypocrisy relies on there being standards for which you to have different positions on. The right doesn't have any standards, so they by definition can't actually be hypocritical. But that doesn't mean that the Democrats who are in charge can't or shouldn't do something about these justices who have lied to the American people and are in a position to continue to do so for literally decades, Francesca.
Yeah, and there was clarity and specificity in her critiques, something that we haven't heard from other Democratic leadership, really. AOC is not in the leadership, sadly, as much as people think because she's on Meet the Press, she is, right? You have not seen that or heard that from Nancy Pelosi or President Joe Biden, calling out the lying under oath, speaking directly about how Senator Mitch McConnell, who is not a great guy, who is not a stand-up guy, who is not a guy you should respect, took the Supreme Court justice nominee away from the man who you served as vice president to. What are you talking about? So again, showing some kind of real leadership here is so important. And look, here's the thing. We all knew they were lying through their teeth. And the senators who confirmed them knew they were lying through the teeth. The reason we say we saw this coming is because when Donald Trump was elected, we knew this was going to happen. I'm sorry, we knew that he was gonna push through Supreme Court justice nominees, that he was gonna confirm them somehow. And even senators knew that, people who were sitting on these committees. And did they do anything about it? Did they withhold their vote? Did they walk out? Did they stop? No. Senator Dianne Feinstein said that the Amy Coney Barrett hearing was the best process she's ever been a part of.
Ridiculous.
And yeah, she doesn't know anything about much right now, except for which foods don't give her gas. And I get that, but this is Like seriously, girl, like beef up on your ginkgo leaf. And let's do this, okay? Because we need you right now, and we've needed them. And so it's just kind of like, I know, because from the right, it feels like, oh, this is retroactive. Why would you be mad at this now? And you're like, and I think they kind of have a point, because we've all seen this coming. We should have impeached Clarence Thomas before this. We should impeach Kavanaugh before this. We should have fought back against Merrick Garland not being confirmed or getting a confirmation hearing before this.
Yeah, and we called for it at the time. Unfortunately, progressives are not in charge. They really should be. I think the country would be a much better place.